just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, tested by the motion, loving this devotion. Live it up, sweet emotion. Every time, every night, you and I on a roll. Switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, tested by the motion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar. All I want is satisfaction. Make a move, baby, you got nothing to lose. Give me that good reaction. Gonna make it right, little like an offer I can't refuse. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, tested by the motion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, tested by the motion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar, just my kind of heat. Ooh, that sugar. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Ooh, that sugar. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, tested by the motion, loving this devotion. Live it up, sweet emotion. Every time, every night, you and I on a roll. Switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. Ooh, that sugar sweet. You got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat. Testify the motion. Loving this devotion. Live it up, live it up, live it up, sweet emotion. Every time, every night, you and I on a roll. Switch it up, switch it up, switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Just my kind of heat, keep it on repeat. Testify the motion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar. All I want is satisfaction. Make a move, baby, you got nothing to lose. Give me that, give me that, give me that good reaction. Gonna make it right, little like an offer I can't refuse. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Just my kind of heat, keep it on repeat. Testify the motion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar
Good morning, morning folks. Hope you guys are well. Let me know if I'm coming through okay. If you're in the chat, come say hello. How's my mic, by the way? Is my mic a bit loud? I'm not sure if you go from, you know, the music to a bit louder, or is the volume okay? Because I can adjust it. I've never actually asked that. I can adjust that here. So let me know if I'm coming through okay, or if you want the mic up or down, and I shall do that. It is Wednesday, it's hump day, and we started off the week pretty well. Last week was pretty good. The oil trade that I'm in right now is going. Again, nothing is banked, but I'll go into that in a second. But it all started off pretty well. Hey Denise, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey Prakash, Silver, good, all good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, as we always do, let's go through the news first. Fed, the big man, is speaking today at 5:30 p.m. UAE time, and we've got oil inventories, which obviously will be affected from our position at 6:30, so not massively, although obviously what this man says in regards to forward guidance for interest rates, the market will be looking out for. Now, again, as always, I ain't going to predict it. I'm not going to say what I think will happen. Well, I can give a bias, but, you know, I'll do that in my technical analysis. But, you know, as always, waiting for the market's reaction to the news rather than the news itself is, for me, the way to play it. The way to play it. Okay, let's get into the S&P before I get into my trades and that one that I've just put on. So S&P yesterday, from a daily perspective, not a bad day. Not a bad day yesterday. We didn't quite tag this zone, but you know, we have tagged that 20. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. And there you go. You have to say it doesn't look too bad, right? From pullback perspective, we would have liked a little bit more volume coming into here, but, you know, from a pullback perspective, this isn't bad. So bias remains that we continue. Is this a catalyst to go forward? Does it indicate forward momentum? You know, I like it. I can't say otherwise from a whole standpoint, weekly, daily, etc. You know, this looks good. So, you know, I've gone a bit more risk on today. I'm My inclination and my bias is that this moves up. You know, could we come back and really test this zone? Yeah, that's my only worry about it. But, you know, from a price action point of view, we're certainly digested, and we're digested very healthily, and we've got our catalyst, albeit, okay, not the volume signature we want, but it is indeed an outside bullish engulfer. And you have to say it looks pretty good. You know, you look at the 4 hour, we're coming out of that channel there. You know, maybe we come back and retest it. Maybe we're just digesting. And remember, for me, in terms of our channels, the best breaks of those channels push through, accumulate a little bit, and then off you go. And maybe that's what we're getting here from a 4 hour perspective. So yeah, my bias, as I said, I could be wrong. We don't know what's going to happen, but my bias is this looks good to the upside, and I'll maintain that as I have done for quite some time. So S&P looking for forward movement. And again, as I've said a few times, if you're looking to invest, you know, I think this market is a brilliant time to keep adding to your portfolio and keep building up that portfolio on dips of that market. So, I mean, weekly we could, as I said yesterday, we could get some possible or look for some price acceptance here, but that doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to happen, and the daily looks pretty good. So, yeah, ultimately, S&P, reasons to go long. I think that is a good play. I think that is a good plan. Right, dollar. Dollar's a bit more difficult. You know, my bias is still down. You know, we did kind of have that 4 hour bar where I said yesterday, and probably wrongly so, actually it turned out to be wrongly so intraday, where if you got that bar where you're slightly worried, if I zoom in again here, that bar where you're slightly worried about this falling off and momentum kind of going back to the downside, it might not be a bad time to short it. Now, we got that bar, and I would have been perfectly happy shorting the dollar after that, but we're getting some pullback into it. And whether that's a pullback or this is, you know, to continue back up, we don't quite know yet. So really, even though bias for me is still down, I don't know whether it wants to come down right now. You know, it's one where I'm relatively on the fence. Obviously, the dollar will be affected if you know, in terms of what's coming out tonight with Powell. I'm still maybe looking at this. You know, I'm still maybe looking at this and maybe looking at entries into the dollar down here. I do think that, you know, these areas, and this area is like a magnet to price. It's certainly for the dollar basket. I would expect it to get down there. You know, it might be just doing what the market does and having a little bit of a, you know, little bit of volatility, or even just potential pullback. The other option here is this, and we continue on up. So there's no clear confirmation for me right now today. Yesterday I was a bit more confident in shorts. I'd still be looking for a reason to enter shorts. You get something maybe on London Open. It might not come until later on when Powell's speaking. You know, you probably have to say from an hourly perspective, it doesn't look too bad to the upside. Right here, coming out of this, very similar to the S&P. This price action again in this hourly is not too bad for movement up. So it's kind of how are you looking at it? For me, I would just sit down and say, I don't know, guys. I don't know whether this is going to go up, or I don't know whether this is going to go down. I'm going to wait for a bit more confirmation. That could come in the form of a decent 4 hour to the upside, or obviously a move back down. But we need a bit more confirmation here for me to be a bit more comfortable with it. So dollar, I don't know. I'll sit myself on the fence. What do you guys think? What's your bias for the dollar moving forward? What do you think about tonight? Just too many conflicting messages for me in the technicals to be really comfortable with it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. You guys might have a better insight than me, or a different analysis. Obviously, everybody is different in this market. We all look at markets a different way. No one way is right. And ultimately, does it matter? I'm not trading it, so it's just the kind of bias that I have of where the dollar goes. Okay, oil. So this has been a nice trade, and it was. You think it'll go up tonight? I think Powell starts speaking about hikes. You know, he did. I mean, they did say at the last meeting that they're still expecting more hikes. I just didn't know. For me, I was. But then he did say it's going to be a live meeting, right? So, I mean, what data is coming out end of the week? Next week. I remember them saying there's only 2 bits of inflationary news coming before the next meeting. We do have NFP next Friday as well. I don't know. I'm just more in the camp of holding at the moment, but maybe I'm completely wrong. Yeah, you're right, Denise. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. As I said, I'm not here to predict. I'm here to react, and whatever will be, will be. But my bias still would maybe be down. I'm just more inherently optimistic with what I'm seeing in the S&P, and maybe that's, making my bias the way it is. But as I said, that could be completely wrong, and we could see some dollar strength, which is obviously certainly on the cards. Anyway, so this UK Brent trade was very nice, and one of those trades, and actually was quite close to being stopped out, right? So the entry on this aggressive entry, which was with trend, right, was at this bar here. So it technically is not a hammer, but it's technically an outside bearish engulfer, and it came on that uptick in volume. So we had a nice pullback from our cup with handle structure, obviously going with trend. We're digested, from a price action point of view, we digested this this move. Think about that 70-30 rule. So we had 4, 8, 12, 16, 21 day of a really good movement down, and then we had 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, blah, 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 maybe 2, 3, 2.5 days of digestion. So, markets move, a lot less time than they pull back, but we got a nice pullback here, and we got our catalyst on that 20, that golden 20, to take that short. And, I really liked it. I had no doubt in my mind that I was going to take that trade. So entry in market, my stop was above this candle here. We did move up a little bit. Here, but the power of the trend and the path of least resistance did start to take, and we had a great 4-hour bar down. Now, after we tagged this area, or we slightly broke this area, my plan says in this aggressive entry that my stop must go to break even. And this is where I think the patience and the discipline, there's things that go for you in trading, the things that go against you. And I think, it swings and roundabouts, and what comes around goes around. There's a few times in the first 6 months I got pipped out, right? And in this particular instance, I just stayed in. When my stop was at break even, just stayed in. And we came down, rejected, and now we're, nothing is banked yet. We're using this SAR as my TP, but we're certainly looking good. And as I said, the path of least resistance is down, so I'm on the right side of this. So I like where this is. Currently running just over 2R at the moment. There's no reason, again, from a daily, weekly standpoint, we're looking for this to break this 200, and then we've got quite a bit of clear air. Whether that happens or not, we'll wait and see, but I like the price action from this weekly going into this 200. For me, we're squeezing in, and we might look at, hopefully, I mean, that would be lovely, but hopefully getting a pop below, because we've been testing the waters here for quite some time, and we're obviously moving down. So I like where this is. It's also on my watch list, so here's my watch list for today. The other interesting thing is on my larger account, I got pipped out, right? So on my investor account, right, this got taken out of break even, which is a little bit frustrating, but it just shows you the slightly differences in individual brokers. However, so from a breakout retest point of view, we've got our initial structure, we've got our secondary structure, we've got our break on volume, looking for this to come back and retest this area. 20 period come down, give me my catalyst to entry, which will ideally come in the form, I mean, if we can get this, that would be ideal, your ABC, right? with your, I mean, this is, again, ideal scenario, your inverted hammer, tagging that 40-60 box. Yeah, I'm looking at gold shorts, Denise. I'll go into that in a second. On increasing volume to take that continue down. The great thing about that is, obviously, this trade is at break even, so we're essentially getting your bog off, your 2 for 1, where this can't lose, but you're in one position, if that makes sense. So I'll be looking for that in oil. Still happy to short it, but it would need to give me the retest that I want. This can come in the form of a steady state as well, but I'm just wary that I need this 20-period catch-up and obviously my catalyst. So let's see how that develops, but absolutely happy with that. Oil shorts, yeah, really like it. You know, even from a smaller time frame perspective, I could eat my hat on this, but this still looks nice. And there you go. There's the very close pip. So as I said, sometimes it goes for you, sometimes it's going against me. And, you know, from the first 6 months, I think I'm due a little bit of that. And let's see how far it goes. That's good. Yeah, I'm looking at gold, Denise. So you can hear on both from a smaller time frame point of view and from a breakout point of view. So I'll go into that because I like it short. For me, I still put it as a counter trend idea, right? Purely because of this weekly. Although, again, you can say, well, we're broken structure here. Technically, in terms of Dow theory, we are changing trend. You know, in that bias and that analysis, I would agree with, right? But what I like about it is the price action going into this. You know, we look at here, we had a quite significant pullback or quite an impulsive pullback. We've held that 20, we pushed on. We've not got that. And not only that, we've had this, what your theoretically bullish sign, right? Which I was a little bit worried about with gold, but it's not taken. So I like gold shorts. I've still put it as counter trend because of where we are. I think for me, in order to really change my thought on this, we probably have to break through this structure here. However, we have got some clear air from where we are to where we might get to. From a daily perspective, I like the daily. You know, I like the daily. I like this type of price action. Silver, we talked about this, right? I remember we talked about this recently in terms of gold shorts, and I said I like it. I just didn't have a setup there. So, you know, a few days here, a nice rejection a couple of days ago, and maybe we start to move down now, and I really like it short. It looks as if the 4-hour setup may not, unless we get a big rejection on this 4-hour, right? So remember, this 4 hour is not closed yet, so we can't say it's broken the area and broken and closed just yet. I was possibly looking for an aggressive entry up in here, short. Doesn't look like we might get that, but you know, that's okay because we can look at this from an hourly or 30-minute perspective. So we've got our cup with handle set up here. Obviously, we've got the time frames and the analysis and the higher time frame bias there as well. So looking at breakout, retest, continuation down. 30-minute as well. 30-minute I can look at. 30-minute or the hourly for shorts and gold. Yeah, I mean, I like it. Ideally, you get some dollar strength. We're seeing that kind of in relatively, I mean, maybe not. But, yeah, commodities are falling off, certainly. And I like gold shorts. On that Doji daily. Yeah, it was here, right? Yeah, this is where it was, we were looking at it, right? There. Yeah, it worked out pretty well. That come on volume. Yeah, I remember speaking about it, and I think we said we liked it, right? But there was maybe just added that added confirmation. But anyway, I certainly like it now. So if I get that setup, perfectly happy with that. 30-minute here, looking to break through. Ideally, we don't break through just yet. Maybe we get a little bit more in here. But then with that, when you get something like that, you worry about it just going and not retesting. Obviously, anything can happen. It can do this, it can do this, it can do whatever. But if it does break through, the good thing about it is you're pulling back into that area around your 40-60 box, right? So, I mean, in terms of that healthy pullbacks, you're kind of getting it. So gold, yeah, gold I like. Gold I certainly like. Aggressive catalyst, yeah, I mean, it wasn't for me because it was against the trend at that point in time, right? So, as with my aggressives now, I can only take them with trend. So I couldn't have taken that, but I wouldn't have minded it. Wouldn't have minded it at all. And finally, USD Swiss. So I've got an order in here for USD Swiss. If there's anything you guys want me to look at, put it in the chat and I will do. However, so I'll go through the setup first. The setup I really like. Within this pullback, we've got our ABC corrective. ABC. My favorite breaks are breaks of B wave. Got our V reversal here, and we're within this accumulation period. So the accumulation period was good enough for me this morning to put my order in, i.e. a breakout here. Originally the stop was here, but we had a new 30-minute anchor, which may look like it's going to be broken. Maybe up here. If it does break, right, let's say we do something like this and then we start coming down. Okay, I start to move my stop again, ideally something like this, and the trade essentially gets modified if it does break to the downside. So it's certainly good enough for me to take an order in. I like USD Swiss short. I like where the daily is. My only thing about it, if we do decide to push on from a daily perspective, is do we need a little bit more price acceptance here? So it looks like we're getting price acceptance underneath this area, right, in the form of this price action. But we need a little bit more. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. And this is why I love this 20 period MA. So if we go back to Euro Pound, for example, from a daily perspective, remember we're looking at this up here. And this is why I love the 20. Is, you know, we got in our price acceptance, but we had a few days here. And that's where that 20 period catch up came. And you got that outside bearish engulfer here. And that's when we started this move. My worry is, or my worry, that's a bad thing to say, but you know, even though I want this trade, I would certainly take it short. It's whether do we get that on the daily perspective. You know, do we get a little bit more price acceptance and a bit more rangy price action before possibly that move starts, if that happens. Obviously, as I said all the time, anything can happen, but maybe we need that. But USD Swiss, if it does come down, I'll modify it. If it moves up again, I'll just take it out and just complete and, you know, continue to modify this trade. But it's something that needs to start coming down pretty soon. You know, today, tomorrow, from a 4-hour perspective, the stop can still be there, right? The stop can still be there. But we don't want this to continue to do this unless we get possibly a third structure. So first structure, second structure, third structure, that's different. But I'd like to see this come down today, ideally. Latest US session. Again, US volatility, dollar volatility tonight may come. So potentially USD Swiss short. Don't mind that. Let's see. But yeah, all's good. So on this technically 175, sitting at a pretty profit at the moment. Obviously, nothing is banked here. Back up to the 152. If we can get a push on, you know, I can then go and start to increase my risk again to 800 or however far it goes, and start to exponentially move this back up to the 175k mark, which has taken some time to do, right? Taken some time to get there. On my other one, I'm up to that 21 now. So this is on the 21k account. Sitting around 855 in profit, so 21.8. The goal here is 23k, 23k, which is the 2,000, which is the 10% of 20k, which is the actual count. So there's actually no reason why, if oil continues to run, you can't do it in one trade. You know, that's the stuff of dreams when that happens. But sitting well. And if we can get it up to 40, then again, this all starts to become, you know, a little bit more interesting, and the bigger account starts to become a bit more interesting, and I start to get to increase my position size, and then hopefully get to back to where I want to be. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the trades. I could eat my hat here and oil comes back around, but I'm liking the position I'm in right now, and I like the idea of oil shorts. I like the idea of gold shorts, and I like these. You know, I like these. I like all of these ideas. So let's see. Right, guys. Anything you want me to look at before I head off? Any questions? Any trades that you're in? Sorry, I didn't look at your currently short from 1940 on gold, Denise. 1940. Oh, all the way up here. Wow, well done. Don't know what your stop is, but 1940 somewhere up here. Brilliant. Yeah, I'd be holding on to that. Don't squeeze it, but I'd certainly be holding on to that. You could put your stop down there, or I guess your break even. Thanks, Silver. See, we're getting a little bit of how long we got. 6 minutes until London opens. Let's see if gold breaks through that barrier on London Open, or if we get that, you know, fake out and potentially we come up here and then break through. Let's see. That'll be quite interesting. From a 4-hour perspective, if it does fake, i.e. it does push on, that means the 4-hour is technically still in play. We'll have to see what price action looks like, but it's technically still in play. Maybe if you get something in something like that, aggressive entry short. Yeah. But let's see. Heading to bed. No worries, Denise. Opposite sides of the world. I forget for work in 5 hours. Good luck. Just stopped and say I appreciate that. Good to see you again. Hopefully see you on stream a few more times. But yeah, great. Cheers, guys. Appreciate it. I'll see you all tomorrow, and we'll do it all over again. Be aware of that news coming out, the volatility from Powell. Remember to always trade safe. Peace.